morning. This is the trial for the murder of Elizabeth Frankenstein. Members of the jury, your duty today will be to determine whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty, based on only facts and evidence provided in this case. We have both the monster and Victor Frankenstein here to testify. Victor, please rise and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will truly listen to this case and render a true verdict and a fair sentence as to this defendant?
I do.
Frankenstein, please take the witness stand. You may be seated. Let the trial begin.
Frankenstein, what were your intentions with creating this monster?
I had no bad intentions. I'm very intrigued by creation. I have always been interested in knowledge and making a new being.
Did you know that your actions would cause harm?
I would have never created the creature if I had known he would turn out to be a real monster.
You had little to no contact with the monster after his creation, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So you had no influence on the monster or his actions is what you are saying.
Correct.
Do you believe that every person is responsible for only themselves?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Where were you before you found Elizabeth dead?
I was waiting for the monster's arrival.
And how did you know the monster was coming?
He told me he was coming. I knew he was going to harm someone.
According to Mr. Kerwin, you confessed to the murder of Henry Clerval, which would lead us to think you would kill again, correct?
I object, Your Honor.
Explain your reasoning with me.
This isn't relevant to us. We all know the monster is the murderer. And even then, when Victor falsely confessed to the murder of Henry Clerval, he was very distraught and stated, "Why did I not die? More miserable than man was ever before. Why did I not sink into forgetfulness and rest?" This shows Victor felt like he was responsible emotionally for his death.
Overruled.
Why should we think you wouldn't kill?
After being emotionally distraught from the death of my best friend, why would I kill my wife?
Stating your emotions isn't valid enough. Why would you go through the struggle to create a monster just to abandon it?
He was ugly. I got so scared when I looked at it.
Or you made the monster so he could do the evil things you can bring yourself to do.
You may not make statements without evidence to support your claim. It seems we have reached a dead end with Frankenstein. You may take your seat next to your lawyer. Monster, please rise and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will truly listen to this case and render a true verdict and a fair sentence to this defendant?
I do.
Monster, please make your way up to the witness stand. You may be seated. And you may begin.
When you were created, who was the first person you met?
My creator, Victor Frankenstein.
What was your first memory with your creator?
He ran out of the room. I couldn't speak. I knew nothing. He left me.
How did you know Elizabeth?
I didn't really. I knew of her, but I only knew her as Victor's wife.
Why were you at the honeymoon?
I knew they would be there.
My last question is, how do you feel about Victor and every way he has wronged you?
I feel that we could have been best friends. If he didn't run away from me, or if he would have made me a lady, all he did was hurt me. I threatened very clearly and he wronged me, allowing me to follow through with my threat. I warned him and he made this all happen.
Follow-up questions for the monster from the lawyer.
You previously stated you couldn't talk. How'd that change to now? How'd you become so educated?
I read books and listened to a family I saw in their house. I listened to them communicate for months on end.
Seems quite harmless, although the cottager's home was found as inferno eventually.
I object, Your Honor. That topic is not relevant to the information being discussed right now.
No further questions about the fire.
My apologies, Your Honor. Moving on. You also previously stated that you threatened Mr. Frankenstein. What exactly was that threat?
I threatened that I would be there on his wedding night. I said no more, no less.
So you admit you were there. You said you followed through with your threat.
I was in fact there at the scene.
Ah, yes. The monster silhouette was seen at the scene of Henry Clerval's murder. Henry had the same marks as Elizabeth did. This is a very good piece of evidence that could connect the two murders.
I may have been there, but you have no proof that I was the murderer.
You escaped through the window after killing Elizabeth. There's no way logically that Victor could have exited through the window but still found the body through the door of the room.
I was mad. I was so hurt. Victor, may I please ask, why did you bring me here if you weren't going to care for me?
Victor doesn't have anything to add.
Victor promised me a lady. I told him I want to be happy without one. He destroyed her. I saw it. Imagine getting put into this world. Nobody loves you, nor can they even bear to look at you. And even your creator cannot stand you. That's my reality.
How does this make you less responsible for murder?
It doesn't necessarily. Just please understand. Victor brought me here. I had to go alone, learning all my life skills on my own. I haven't been taught anything. I've been neglected my whole life.
As this is correct, Victor didn't teach the monster right from wrong. He doesn't understand human rights. To learn to read and speak, he had to observe secretly from a distance. His natural instincts were to make things even. Take away Victor's lady friend, as Victor kept him from having one. If your parents didn't raise you differently, wouldn't you agree this is right?
Why does the fact that he is a monster change anything? He committed the murder. We know this. He admitted it.
I also murdered Henry Clerval. I confess to it.
Victor also confesses to this. He said he killed Clerval when he didn't. He obviously felt guilty in some way. Victor, could you tell me why you felt guilty for a murder you didn't commit?
Someone say the monster is like my child. If your child committed murder, how would you feel? Probably somewhat responsible.
The monster's greatest concern is that you did not raise him, Mr. Frankenstein. You brought him into this world, but you didn't teach him right from wrong.
That is not my responsibility.
According to multiple different statements, a person's actions are the effects of how they were raised. You did not do this. You left the monster neglected and hurt. This leads you to be responsible for the murder.
We have not confirmed the final statement yet.
According to research done by Diana Barman, lack of emotional responsiveness and love from their caretakers, people raised by uninvolved parents may have difficulty learning appropriate behaviors that lead to their likeliness to misbehave.
That statement proves that Victor Frankenstein is guilty for the murder. The monster cannot speak for himself, as Victor is morally responsible.
I am here to be proved not guilty.
I am here to be proved not guilty.
What do you think is guilty of the crimes, jury?